Hi, hello. Welcome to the first episode of Brain Dump. I'm your host, Nichole Hojas, probably forever host, unless I decide that I suddenly want to co-host, and in that case, then I'm your host for now. But, yeah. My first apology on this this godforsaken podcast, is I'm sorry that the first episode does not have a visual. It's just audio. I just was not in the mood to record a little visual version of me just talking into a microphone. So for now, you're just gonna get a little audio for the first episode. Just get a little taste, a little feel for my voice. And then, if you follow me on any social media, you know what I look like. So just put both of them together, and then that's me. So, I also want to apologize for the amount of times you were going to hear my mouth make noises. I am just a human being, and I smack my lips or smack my tongue. I just make a lot of little noises with my mouth. I'm sure I'll get used to it once I talk enough on here. But for now, sorry about that. Okay, so first and foremost, little introductions. Okay, so as I said, my name is Nichole Hojas. I am a 21-year-old. I am a 20-year-old woman, and I live in the state of Florida. And I am also starting January 9th, I think. I don't know. One of the first Mondays of January. Yeah, January 9th. I'm going to be a senior in college. I go to school for my bachelor's in film, I guess is what you would call it. I don't know. My major is film. My minor is mass media. Do I know what that means? No. Could not tell you what that means. Mass media. That's all. I go to school in Orlando. If you know me personally, you know what school I go to. I'm going to say it, actually. I go to UCF, University of Central Florida. Go Knights, charge on. Am I right, ladies and gents and other people? Yeah, charge on. Anyways, yeah, that's where I go. I have a cat. I actually have two cats. I have one cat back home, and I have another cat that stays with me in Orlando. Her name is Kirby, so if you ever hear me mentioning her name, or if you hear her, or anything of the sort, that's her. She is a little medium-haired tortoiseshell cat, and she is so funny, and actually a little demented in the head. I don't think she's okay mentally, but neither am I. Neither are most people in this world. So, you gotta give her that at least. What other things can I say about myself? I love movies, obviously. I'm a film major. I love anything Sanrio, Hello Kitty, the basic stuff. My favorite color currently is pink, but usually it's the primary colors, blue, red, yellow. What else? I don't know. I don't like the prompt of having to introduce yourself because I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm on a dating app right now and I'm trying to sell myself to you guys. This is real. This is me. Let me tell you my favorite movie. My favorite movie of all time currently is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Really fucking good movie. Oh, also, warning, I will be swearing. And I won't be hiding it. This is real. This is me, like I said. Explicit podcast, if you will. But yeah, it's my favorite movie, and it's just really good, and I've watched it probably at least 10 times. And don't ask me if I'm ready to watch the second Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because the answer is no. I'm not. My favorite TV show series is that's a hard one because I feel like I watch such a variety of different TV show genres. I love a good sitcom. My favorite sitcom is Parks and Recreation. For those of you who don't know what rec means, I guess. I don't know. I also really love Abbott Elementary. It's so fucking good. Like, if you haven't watched Abbott Elementary this far into your life, it's time, because they're on season 2. It's time. You need to watch it. It's on Hulu or on HBO Max. So yeah, that's my favorite, I guess, TV show genre sitcom. Another TV show that I really like is White Lotus. I mean, not to say everyone hopped on the fucking bandwagon season 2, but bitch, I was watching White Lotus way before anyone else was giving it this much attention. So, not to be a trendsetter or anything, but I'm a trendsetter. I'm an influencer. Oh my god, yeah. No, wait. Okay, not to like digress into another topic, or divert, I should say, but like I've like been in the making of this podcast. Not been in the making, but like I've been trying to make this podcast for over a year. Like, I've had the idea in my head. I've known what the title is going to be since last year. And on my laptop, I actually have a sound recording of like what the first quote unquote episode would have been, just like a quick introduction. And in it, I say that I'm a micro niche influencer, Instagram influencer, because I only have like 2,000 followers on Instagram. But like, I feel like a good amount of people interact with me. I don't know. I could influence people, I guess. I don't know. I'm ex-YouTuber, also micro niche YouTuber. I mean, it wasn't really micro or niche. Actually, it was just micro. Yeah. I also stumble on my words a lot sometimes, so I don't know if that's really a good asset to this podcast. But yeah, like I was an influencer, quote unquote. I mean, everyone in my high school loved me, from like as much as I'm aware of. I mean, I'm sure people didn't like me. I try to get on people's good sides, but if I know you're a terrible fucking human being, like I'm not gonna hesitate to call you out on it, because you don't deserve to have good things if you're a bad person. Simple as that. Like, karmic energy will come back to you, bitch, and you will be fucking you will be brought to the stands for your crimes. Yeah, I'm really good with words. Anyways, what was I just went on a tangent, and I don't remember why it started. So, White Lotus. That's like my favorite show, kind of. Like, not sitcom show, but yeah. Can't really think of anything else, to tell you the truth right now. Let's divulge. Let's change the subject. So let me explain to you guys what the basis of this podcast is going to be, because, I think that'd be a great thing to talk about right now. So, yeah. Basically, this podcast is just going to be a weekly, as the name of the podcast is called, brain dump of what's going on in my life, or just like topics that I want to talk about a lot, because I love talking. I love, what was the word? Like in 8th grade, our teacher, he would like give us these like SAT words. And one of them was like, you talk a lot. I just forgot what it's called. It starts with a G. I'll get back to that. But I just really like to chat. I love to have a good little conversation. And I've always talked to myself since I was a little kid. So much so that my mom would always interrupt me when I'm in the shower, because I'd be talking to myself, and she'd be like, I think you need help. Like, you shouldn't be talking to yourself. And I'd be like, girl, I'm having a good conversation with myself right now. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so it's just going to be little random blurbs of me talking for like at least like under an hour, or like an hour-ish, depending on how long I want to talk about anything. Like, really, like as long as you'll let me, because I'll keep going. But what you should expect from it is something entertaining. At least one snippet of this thing, this whole podcast has to be entertaining to you in some capacity. That's my hope. Yeah. Sometimes I'll have occasional guests on. Just to let you guys know, I have roommates, and I'm sure they'll all be addressed at some point or another. But I'll tell you their names, so if you ever hear their names, you know who they are. But there's 3 roommates. My best friend Natalie, and then my 2 other roommates, Dominique and Mackenzie. So if you ever hear their names muttered by me or anyone else, that is who they are. They are my roommates. We are all like pretty much besties at this point. Our group chat is called Bisexual Brigade. Do with that what you will. Yeah. I just like felt like I needed to say that because I'm sure I'll have them on one time or another. And I think that will be a very entertaining podcast. But anyway, next episode will include audio and video. I don't know if I mentioned that in the first couple seconds of me talking because I've already forgotten about what I said, but I will try to record me talking with my camera so you can see me talking and see me go crazy in the brain a little bit. Anyway. Okay, babes. That's what I have for you in terms of what the basis of this podcast is going to be. Just me, silly little 20-year-old girl, having silly little conversations that are kind of maybe a waste of your time. But hey, I mean, if you're watching this while you're cleaning or doing something productive, hey, shout out to you. You're doing more than I ever could. And listening to me, which is like crazy. Like, please stop listening, please. Like, I get so much secondhand embarrassment when people talk about my YouTube videos or just bring up my social media in general. So like, I don't think this is going to bode well for me if I ever hear someone saying or like see someone say that they're like watching my podcast or listening to my podcast. Like, I'll lose my fucking mind. Okay? So don't tell me you're watching what I'm putting out into the world. I don't know how I'll feel. Okay. I've lined up a couple of little conversations here and there, some things to talk about to fill the empty space. So the first thing I want to talk about is just like a little yearly recap. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention 1 or 2 or more things that happened to me each month of this year, 2022, and I'll go into depth on whatever I've decided is worthy of you knowing about for each month. So here goes. January. So in January, I started my spring semester. I had 4 classes. They were all online from what I can remember. And I mean, I honestly don't remember much of January. Ew, if you heard that mouth noise I just made, no, you didn't. But yeah, I don't really remember much besides spring semester starting and that I was in my brioche bread era. So basically what I mean by that is that I would, anytime I'd go grocery shopping, brioche was in the cart. Trust. Like, I was a fiend for anything brioche. I would like make Nutella toast on brioche for breakfast. I would make garlic bread with brioche. That shit was so good. Brioche is like actually one of the top breads for me, personally. Anyways, next month, February. February, my birthday month. Where my Aquarians at? The silence is deafening, y'all. Just kidding. For February, I went to Disney World, specifically Magic Kingdom, and I went for my birthday. And I also went to a hot pot twice. I was in my hot pot era. I went to the same one twice in the same month for Valentine's Day and for my birthday with my parents. I'm trying to remember what the name of the hot pot was because It's like near Disney Springs if you live in Orlando. Can't really give you the name right now. Like, it's just not sounding in my head. Like, there's nothing, like, I'm drawing up a blank. But basically, a robot seats you at your table, and it's just a really cool place. And if you like hot pot, you'll like that. It has like those revolving, I think it's actually called revolve around. Okay, it's okay. I just found it. I've just found it, guys. It's called You and Me Revolving Hot Pot. Love it. Recommend it. It's a little pricey, but it's a splurge if you like a hot pot and if you also want to see robots. That's my case for the place. But yeah. March, I saw Tyler the Creator in concert. It was my first time seeing him in concert, and holy fucking shit balls. That was literally a performance for the decades. Like, literally, like, oh my god, how many times can I say like? But that was easily one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. If you were lucky enough to go on the Call Me If You Get Lost tour, you know what I'm talking about. We've got 3 openers: Tizo Touchdown, Vince Staples, Kali Uchis, and to top it all off, Tyler. 2 different stages, and he uses a boat to transport between the 2 stages. It's fucking sick. I was literally barricaded, so I saw him on his little boat. He went right past me. I tried to get his attention. Did he look at me? No, he didn't, but I'm gonna pretend in my heart and in my brain that he did, because I am so his age range right now. So, like, the fact that he didn't even glance at me is kind of fucked up. That is literally all I wrote for March. There's again, spring break. Did I do anything? No. April. Oh wait, actually, I think spring break was in April. My bad. I went to Epcot in April for the first time. Actually, I've never been to Epcot. Was really just fiending, absolutely, positively fiending for that fucking Epcot ball. I went around the world. If you wanted to know where I started, because this is a very, what's it called? Like a hot debate of like which side to start on, like which side of the world. You either start on in Mexico or in Canada, I think. I started in Mexico and in Canada. A lot of people say that's the best way to go, but I don't really care because I'm not 21, so I can't even drink. And I also don't like drinking, so I was mostly there for the food. And I got my fill of the food. Let's leave it at that. I also started my new job, my first actual job. Like, before April, I had only ever done like door dashing and like Instacarting as like my quote unquote jobs. It was really only when I really needed the money that I would do it. But before that, I was pretty much unemployed. But now I'm employed. I still work at the same job. Probably gonna quit soon though, because I'm getting a little sick of it. I'm outgrowing this job, I fear. I also just don't like the pay. But yeah, there's that. In May, I found my childhood digital camera, and what I mean by this is like literally just the digital camera that was used to document my entire childhood. Like, I think since like 3rd or 4th grade for sure. Like, there's pictures of me in my old like childhood bedroom, me playing Animal Jam, like me at my talent show in elementary school, just like everything that could have possibly ever happened to me from like elementary school and middle school combined. And it was so nice to look back on, because I love looking back at old pictures and old memories of things like that. They just like feel sentimental. Like, oh my god, like I remember that. I don't know if anyone's with me on that, but yeah, it was really cute. I brought it up with me to Orlando, and it's still there. I don't take as many pictures on it as I used to, just because it's a bitch to like get the pictures onto my computer, but I digress. What else? Oh, I dyed my hair my original hair color. A lot of people said it looked black, but I promise you my natural hair color is a dark brown. So it like looks black, but I swear it's brown. I was in my, what I like to call my Snape hair era because my hair looked like Snape's hair, point blank, period. So that's what happened in May. June, I bought my cat a cat tower, and it took me and Natalie, my best friend, way too long to assemble it, only because I fucked up like halfway and we had to disassemble it and then fix it and then reassemble it. So I'm ashamed to admit that it took us like, I think almost 2 hours, but we were listening to Harry Styles the whole time, so I'm not going to complain. Another thing I did in June is I went to Trader Joe's literally almost every other weekend. Like, once it was fucking payday, bitch, I was in Trader Joe's. Trust. There was not one weekend where I didn't get paid where I wasn't at Trader Joe's. It was an addiction, a problem, a something, a lapse in judgment. I don't know. Like, it was crazy. I don't know why we were going to Trader Joe's so often, but it's like, it seemed like every week there was something that we needed to get at Trader Joe's, or like we just went through our snacks that we would get so quick that we were like, yeah, we need to go. It's Saturday, and why aren't we at Trader Joe's? So, yeah. I don't know if I sound super out of breath, but I feel like I am, so I'm going to take like a really quick breath. Anyway. What else did I do? I went to Universal with my family. They always like to plan something around 4th of July, and they came up like the weekend of like the last June weekend to like basically 4th of July, I think, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, we went to Universal, went on the Velocicoaster twice. Very slay. If you've never been on it, get the fuck on it because it's so good. Recommend it highly. July, I went to a going away party for a coworker. She was going to Australia. I had a great time. It was just literally all my coworkers in one house, and it was great. I had a great time. What else? Oh, I went on a cruise. I know. How could you forget about that? I did. I went on a cruise. It was a Carnival cruise. We went to Jamaica. We went to, honestly, can't remember any of the other places. Oops. Sorry. It was another island. That's all I can actually remember. It was in July. You would think it was only a couple months ago. No, I literally can't remember any significant details besides Jamaica. Oopsie. Sorry. And also, leading to the end of July, I was packing to move out of my first apartment. Yeah, it was a fucking bitch to pack up because me, in my maximalist lifestyle, I am basically kind of like a hoarder. And so it was a lot of shit to pack and put away. But we did it, y'all. I made it. I left that place. September. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. Forgot about August. Oopsie. In August, I moved into my new apartment, the apartment I currently live in with my current roommates that I just said earlier in the podcast. Started fall semester. Within literally the first week of fall semester, broke up with my boyfriend of 2 years. We're not going to get into that right now, but yeah, that happened. Which eventually led to September, and that led to a lot of self-discovery, a lot of not knowing what to do with all this newly acquired free time. So I would just go to work, get home, watch a lot of movies. That was my movie watching era. I was like, oh my gosh, now I have all this free time. I'm gonna fucking watch all the movies my heart has ever desired to watch. So I did. It was fun. It was a lot of just like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I had all this time dedicated to one person, and now I have to figure out who the fuck I am. And so I developed new hobbies, new interests. I picked up reading. And by picking up, I mean I literally got one book and then started getting a ton of books and then finished one book months later. I swear the books I buy, I'm like really interested in reading. I just never get around to it because I am bad at routines, I think. Like, my routine was I'd get ready for bed, I'd lay in bed, and instead of being on my phone, I would read until I felt tired, which was honestly a pretty great habit. And then I quickly got out of it and started going on my phone again. So, but hey, my screen time is only like 4 hours, which I think is pretty good considering the fact that I feel like I'm on my phone all the fucking time. But yeah, what else did I do? Oh, I celebrated my best friend's 21st birthday. We did a little like small party for her. I think I got high ? Yeah. It was so silly, so fun. She got drunk. I took pictures of her. One of my favorite little things to do when I'm with her and she's going to be drinking is if she gets drunk, she usually somehow at some point of the night ends up on the floor. And so it is my civic duty to take a photo of her when she is on the floor because I don't drink. So I like to document what's happening around me and my surroundings. And I really enjoy seeing people get drunk. It's very entertaining. And I don't have to get drunk. So it's like I'm living the experience for them sober. So I know what to tell them. Like, I know what stories to tell them when they sober up. Like, oh, yeah, you did this, this, and this. What? I did that? Yeah, I have photographic evidence of it. So, yeah. Another thing I did was I dyed my hair blue. This blue is beautiful, but be warned. Never use Manic Panic. It was my first time using Manic Panic, and I don't think I will ever use Manic Panic again. Fuck Manic Panic. They can suck my dick and balls, first and foremost, because, okay, I've never, ever in my life had hair dye stain anything. For reference, the hair dyes I usually use are like the Sally Beauty like Ion brand and Arctic Fox, and they've never let me down. Never, ever, ever. Why I chose to stray away and get Manic Panic, I don't know. But I got Manic Panic, and the first time I did the blue, my blonde was not blonde enough, so it didn't take to my whole head. It was also too light of a blue, so it just like made my hair look weird in some parts. So I got a darker blue, did that. It turned out really, really pretty color. But again, stained everything, stained my sink, stained my bathtub, stained my towels, stained my literal pillowcases. Like, I still have blue hair dye on my pillowcases to this day. They're just like literally fucking sucked. And to get rid of it was a bitch. So wouldn't recommend using Manic Panic. Last thing in the month of month of September, I went to Halloween Horror Nights. I got this pass for Halloween Horror Nights, and basically you could use it from Sunday to Thursday. So I was going a lot for the first weekends of the last weekends of September. And then there was like a hurricane, so couldn't really go, but it's okay. I went right after the hurricane. Slay. In October, following up with the Halloween Horror Nights, went every fucking weekend because I needed to make my money's worth. I needed to go at least 3 times to make my money back, and surely enough, I think I went like 5 or 6 times total. I went to every single house, and I can tell you, if you went to Halloween Horror Nights, this will only apply to you, but my favorite, or like the best houses in my opinion, were the Bloomhouse house because it literally was like the best one. It was the one that would scare me no matter how many times I went. Like, it could scare me the first time, it could scare me the second time. If I went a third time, it would have probably scared me again. It was also very genius of them to mash 2 movies into one house because it just made it so much better. My second favorite house was the weekend one, mainly because literally the queue for the haunted house was just weekend music playing. And unfortunately, he was my top artist of the year for Spotify. And I just like really was like, I think back to that moment so many times. Like, every other weekend we would go and like stand in line. Like, I just think back to it, and like it gets me in such a good mood. Like, that house was really fucking good, and I really liked it. I just really liked the vibe. I liked the music. I'm a little biased, but yeah, those are my 2 favorite houses. Nothing else really deserved the spotlight. I'm gonna be so honest right now. But yeah. I also did some fun workshops in my cinematography class. So fun. Loved it. Met a lot of new people. I had a great time. Like, I've never actually like connected and like made friends in a class before in my entire fucking college experience. And this was the first time I was like, okay, I need to branch out. I need to like find some people that are like in the same mindset as me, or like want similar career goals. And I did just that. And I found so many new friends, made so many new friends, did so many new fun things, learned so many things. It was just a good semester, honestly. I went to a Halloween party that was way too crowded. I am not a party gal. Like, I don't go clubbing. That is not my scene. And so when I get invited to a party that is literally, you cannot fucking move because there's that many people in one tiny ass apartment, like the air you breathe is warm, like that sends shivers down my spine in the most negative fucking way. Like, I do not enjoy myself, yet I keep going to them. I haven't been invited to very many of them in my life, but I just never have a good time. I don't know how people have a good time at parties that are like so crowded. It is not a good experience. And then the last thing I did in October that was notable was I went to Cece's Pizza. If you've ever been to Cece's Pizza, you know the vibes. Mainly went for nostalgic reasons, and since then I've gone, I think, 2 other times. And I can safely say that Cece's Pizza always hits. It still fucking hits. The brownies still kind of hit. They're kind of scary looking. They taste a little off, but something about them is so right to me. Everything in that establishment is correct. Like, there's not one thing, not one flaw in that establishment, in that business model. Like, that's a good restaurant. That's an elevated restaurant. We're nearing the end of the month, the year, November. I thought about starting this podcast again and decided that I wanted to do that. And I wanted a microphone for Christmas. And here I am talking into that microphone days after Christmas. So magical, I know. I basically made the cover art for the podcast. I decided what I wanted to do with it, like what was going to happen. Just like my whole thought process finally evolved as to like what I wanted to do for the podcast. And it came to light. I drove to Costco the day before a hurricane for hot dogs. This is a new little tradition me and my roommates like to do. Every time before a natural disaster, aka a hurricane, is coming, we decide, oh, it's time to get Costco hot dogs and pizza, and we go the day before the hurricane hits, because usually Costco is open, ladies and gentlemen. So we did that, drove in those horrendous rains and winds, and we got ourselves some Costco hot dogs and pizza, let me tell you. This was also the month I realized I think I hate my job. Like, I hate it a lot, actually, but I really, really love my coworkers. And, like, they're kind of the only reason that I ever want to go to work. And I think a lot of people are in the same situation or the same boat as me. And if that is you, we'll get out of it eventually. I promise. I hope. Because not one thing about this job seems redeeming these days. The only thing is the coworkers. They're the fucking best. I love all my coworkers. I love all my coworker friends. They're honestly my friends now, just not coworkers anymore. They're my friends because I don't have friends outside of work. All my friends are from work, which is a little sad, but you know what? I don't care. I love them. They don't know this, but I love them. Oh my gosh. I went back home for Thanksgiving, and guess what, guys? There was no fucking mac and cheese at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Do you know what that fucking means to me? That means there was not one thought put into Thanksgiving dinner. And I know that's true because my mom made the turkey and it was not good. And I said that. I gave my review and I got roped into making the turkey for next year. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. There will be mac and cheese on the table. I will say that. Okay. Now we are getting to our last month, December. December was the month that I really tried to get rid of the monstrosity of Manic Panic blue hair dye. And lo and behold, it was a failure through and through. Could not get rid of it to save my life. So I tried to put red hair dye on top to try kind of neutralize it. 'Cause I don't know if you know the color theory wheel or whatever the fuck it's called. But basically, colors neutralize other colors. So my hair was kind of like bluish greenish. So I would use like a reddish orange hair dye to kind of neutralize it. And it worked for like the top half of my head. But like since the tips of my hair were so like the follicles or whatever they're called, they were just so full of that blue color. It would not budge. So when I put the reddish orange on top, it made it green and it was so ugly. Everyone said they liked it, but I think they lied. I don't want to believe that what they said was true because there's just no way that looks good. Like, I just don't believe it. So I finally caved in and I went to get professional help. This is a big, big, big step for me. I have never in my many, many, many years of hair dyeing have ever gone to a professional to get my hair done because I've always thought, hey, I can fix the problem. I can do it myself. I can do whatever I want to my hair by myself. I don't need to go pay so much money to get anything done. I had that mindset for so many years. And so once I finally realized and admitted that I can't solve this problem, like this is truly a problem for the professionals, I went to a salon and sure enough, they fixed it, y'all. It was an expensive fix, but they fixed it. And now I look slay and hot and awesome. And my hair is all one color, which is more than what I wanted. So shout out to my hairdresser. Another thing I did was I went to this Hello Kitty Cafe truck. If you don't know the Hello Kitty Cafe in LA, they have these 2 trucks that like travel nationwide and like they sell stuff that they sell at the cafe. So like some pastries and like bakery items, and they also sell merch. I mainly went for the merch and I got merch. Simple as that. It was very cool, very fun. I realized I can dress hot. Like, I'm capable of it. I just am lazy. Like, because of the pandemic, I just don't know how to dress anymore. But I realized, like, I have the ability to do it. Like, the clothes are in my closet. Like, I can do this. I just need to wear clothes and, like, make myself look hot in them. And it's something I'm capable of. What else? Oh, I finished fall semester. It was a painful end. Finals was actually the worst week ever. Not so fun, but hey, look at me now. Weeks later. Finals over. Tests done. Classes passed. The last few things are more like towards the end of the month. I saw some Christmas lights with my roommates. Spent way too much money on presents. Literally went into debt. $700 credit card debt. Yeah, I'm admitting that publicly. It's embarrassing. Hopefully me sharing my story will make me realize not to do it ever again. I also tried edibles for the first time, and it was a terrifying experience to say the least. I recorded some videos of me on it, and like I literally I had work the next morning at 7:30 in the morning, and I could not make it because I was that bad. It was that bad. Like, okay, I think we just took too much. I know we took too much, and I know that for next time, but never again will I ever do so much. That's all I have to say, because I suffered so badly the next day. I threw up, and no one wants to say that they threw up, you know? I definitely didn't want to, but I did it. Yeah, I think that is it for my yearly recap. Another recap I'll do is my like a quick Spotify Wrapped. I honestly had no like idea what my Spotify Wrap was gonna look like, especially because I like heavily listened to Rex Orange County at the beginning of the year, and then once the allegations came up about him, I completely stopped. But I knew he was gonna make it into my final Spotify Wrapped, so I tried my hardest not to listen to him, but he still made it on my top 5, unfortunately. But I'll just give you guys my top 5 songs of the year. Shocker, almost all of them are The Weeknd. Anyway, Out of Time, Here We Go Again, and then Come On Let's Go, featuring Tyler, the Creator, and Nigo. They're not featuring both of them. One of them is the creator. The other one is featured, but whatever. Best Friends by The Weeknd, and then How Do I Make You Love Me by The Weeknd. You can tell Dawn FM was like heavy rotation for me, I guess, unfortunately. But yeah, those are my top 5. I listened to 23,000 minutes worth of music. Honestly, every year the Spotify Wrapped comes out, my minutes listened goes down more and more, and it's kind of concerning. I think I'm going to start listening to music at night and then turning the volume all the way down to cheat my way to like an absurd amount of minutes, because I'm getting sad at the amount of like minutes I have. It's not enough, nearly not enough. I feel like I listen to so much music. My top artists are The Weeknd, Tyler, the Creator, Harry Styles, Joji, and Rex Orange County. My top genre was pop. Shocker. Someone said that my music, my top 5 at least, are like target core music, and I think that's really fucked up, but it's also really true. Yeah, that is like all I'm gonna give on my Spotify Wrapped. If you guys want me to talk about it more, I will, but like I just don't want to dive into it right now because we are nearing almost 45 minutes of this podcast, and I think that's like a good amount of time for the first episode. So I'm going to start wrapping it up. I want to let you guys know the schedule of this podcast before you guys go. I'm going to try and upload a podcast every Friday around 1 p.m. So set your calendars, set your Google calendars, set your alarms, whatever you need to do. The Brain Dump podcast releases every Friday at 1 p.m. Simple as that. Keep that in your noggin for later. This first episode is coming out December 30th, 2022, just in time for the end of the year. So I can at least say I'd started it this year, 2022. Thank you guys so much for listening. I don't have any sort of like outro ideas. Let me know if I should come up with some. But I guess I'll ask a question for you guys to reflect on yourselves. Or I guess what? No, a self-reflection question, a self-reflective question. That's a better way to say it. A self-reflective question for you guys listening at home. The question is, what is your favorite and least favorite thing that happened to you in 2022? Hopefully the worst thing that happened to you is not that bad. I hope, but you know what? It can only be so bad, right? 2023 can only be so much better, right? I hope. I really hope. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Brain Dump podcast featuring your host, Nichole Hojas. This podcast will be available to listen on, I think, all platforms. I'm going to try my hardest to get them on all platforms. If not, they'll definitely be on YouTube and probably Spotify. Sorry, Apple Music listeners. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. A girl can only learn so much about how to publish a podcast, okay? All right. I will see you guys in the next episode, and I hope you guys have a safe holiday and happy new year, and you will see me in January. Bye-bye.